What's going on? It's Justeeni here, and today we've got some more Polysseum on the small continent, Kickoo, and we're against Anva. We've seen this person before, so I'll just cut right into things. So I just develop. Now, one thing with my spawn you can already see is that I am landlocked with Kickoo, which really sucks. So I do a bit of a different opening. Turn 3 meditation, that's right, we're going Philo rush. Yes, sir. We're gonna get that altar piece on turn 8, and we were just gonna bunker down and get value. We have a landlocked spawn, why not? Organization. Just develop quickly. Because yeah, I wanna get Philo next turn. So I'm just gonna get Org first, and then I'm Philo rushing with Kickoo. I bet you've never seen this before. This is why you should subscribe to me, because I do stupid things like this against top-rated players. And as for whether I'll get away with this decision, you guys will see. I snag a nice border with all my capital. This is going to set up my market spots. I kind of just already have them ready. Nice sawmill, sawmill, market, market, sawmill, market, market, and a sawmill here as well. Nice and simple, very straightforward. But also I get a port to get on the water, which seems weird, but it's because there is a village here. Because the shoreline, it's a 1-tile village. It's right next to me. If I can take it, why not? I don't even have to buy saline, so it's not really out of my way. It's really only spending 5 stars because I would have had to harvest the fish otherwise, so it's not costly at all to get it, and if I get it, then I get it. Park of Fortune there, so I can get a giant on the coast really easily if need be. And then now I've got math, and I'm just gonna try and rush markets. And I do see this border growth, which leads me to believe that Anva is also going the greedy route. However, I know that I did Philo rush. I don't think Anva did, because nobody's crazy enough to do that. And sure enough, there's math. And this really helps because I'm actually on the water first, which also leads me to believe Anva also had a landlocked spawn. I get another super unit, and I can actually get in the water. Yes, I'm going markets as well, but as soon as I go to markets, I can instantly transition to enabled. Super cheap, thanks to Philo, and I'll have the economy for it. I just straight up passed the turn here. Mainly because Anva had some time pressure, so passing the turn immediately like this is super annoying. And then also just, I already know where my markets are going. I don't have to think about that all too much. Just get trade, slap down some sawmills, market, market, market. I probably should have harvested this fruit, but I wanted to train all the units and everything and harvest it later. Markets on the same turn. But the thing is, again, I have philosophy, and then I got markets, so after the markets are settled, things are going to be very good for me, because I'm going to have more long-term benefit than Anva. And also my markets are pretty high level. They're really good here. And I am on the water first. I'm establishing a good naval presence now. I can get that nice ruin there. I get strategy, border growth here, just to take up space. And so I'd really like to attack on land, but I also, again, I've got water control. I get a nice mining ruin, which it's okay. I have 2 mines. It's not the worst thing ever. And I can, again, start to pressure, set this catapult up here. Yes, it can be attacked, but that would put it in range of this catapult. So I'm completely fine with him sacrificing a giant here. That is a-okay. I'm just gonna keep developing, because that's the thing with the Philo into markets, really just markets in general, but it's extra good with Philo. You're pretty much getting to tech every single turn, and if those techs are cheaper, you really save a lot. And yeah, giant's out of range of the catapult, unfortunately, but it can still get taken out, no problem. And again, I've already got Like, if we look at my tech situation, I have almost everything I need. I just need aquatism, navigation, diplomacy, chivalry, archery, maybe spiritualism as well. And then you can call it there. At that point, I might as well just buy the rest of the techs, because that gets me a monument. So, yeah, we get aquatism, and every turn we're going to be able to make some more progress. And these catapults are very nice. They're very hard to reach. I get chivalry, so I can start to pressure. I can actually use Anva's own bridge to invade, which is really nice here. So that has to be addressed immediately. I do some bad attacking order, but it is what it is. I lose my catapult, sadly, but it was at 1 HP anyway. We see bunkering down and spiritualism, which again, they don't have philosophy. Spiritualism's more expensive. Assuming we're on the same city count, which, spoiler alert, we are. I'm pretty sure at least. Spiritualism is gonna be a lot more than 13. I believe it's going to be 19? And then also planting the trees, which not too much of an extra cost, but it does add up. That's like a full sword or a mind bender, which yeah, I get a mind bender. And the reason why I get this is because I need to heal this juggernaut up so I can reuse it. If I heal it right now, it goes to 21 HP. And then after 5 turns, I can finally use it. It'll be full HP again. But a mind bender will cut that time in half, essentially. Then I also get Diplo. And yeah, tons of border growth cities compared to me only getting 2 border growths, which yeah, I'm playing a greedy late game and I only got 2 border growths. But what's nice is I can go for some juicy cloaks on the land and in the water. Get navigation, set up some bombers. I have naval dominance, which is really rare to be the first one in the water and actually getting the naval dominance. Usually you're fighting against naval dominance. But yeah, and we can see this section of water that Anva is funneling all of his giants into, which is going to be a bit of a problem. It's a question I have to answer, but I have my own juggernauts. I've got bombers, I got catapults. I'm sending cloaks in. I get a nice chain back here. I see that Anva also has cloaks, but they're not close enough to connect. I'm sending my giant to pressure. I get spiritualism, upgrades my markets. Get archery, mostly to just help poke. Archery is surprisingly good against spiritualism setups because it's your way of getting through the trees. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it is something that has to be kept in mind. But the catapults are going to be set up because, you know, when you have spiritualism, you don't care about knights countering your catapults anymore. So you can just do that. And I'm just using these cloaks. This is pretty nice. And yeah, we can now really confirm this is definitely a 5-on-5. Actually, is it a 5-on-5? It might be a 6-on-5. That's even better for the content. I'm actually just down a city. There might be a Grand Bazaar somewhere that I missed. Philo OP, winning as a city disadvantage. Possibly. I mean, this position is better. It'd actually be surprising if I didn't win here. But it's not easy. Especially these port plays are really nasty, because it's a really good way of clearing my daggers. As soon as Anva gets knights, which again are more expensive because guess who doesn't have Philo? And again, like you can really just see the developmental difference. Like Philo is absolutely carrying me. I'm just gonna keep on connecting with cloaks, just trying to pressure in any way I can. Take out these juggernauts one by one. And eventually I'll just have my own juggernauts. I can heal them and then just throw them in and win that way. I can also just use naval dominance, even though on Vasam ports back here, it's really hard to just funnel enough units because you only have so many cities. Even with a city advantage, it's tricky. My mind bender is just going to allow me to reuse my units and be more efficient. Then I just use my gate of power, which I didn't use for a very long time. I was just figuring out what to do with it. I upgrade this, more economy, and the potential for a giant with two ocean temples. A little pricey, but I have a decent economy. More night chain stuff. Unfortunately, I do lose a catapult. I kind of blundered a little bit, but it's by no means a decisive blunder. I'm still completely fine. I also do this, which is a mistake, because again, this giant can be chained off of. At first I thought you can't chain off the dagger because the catapult would kill it, but I kind of forgot you can just splash with the juggernaut and that solves every problem here. And you want to do this anyway, it's really hard to miss. But I still have naval dominance here. Anva's setting up bombers, but you can't really advance them much here. And I'm advancing my juggernaut, allowing the bombers to hit, but I just don't care. Because then I'll just send my juggernauts back to get healed with mindbenders. I get smithery, so I can get the forge spot for the giant, and also swords. Those will also help to break through the spiritualism wall, because it requires a catapult and a knight to kill. So it's a bit trickier to deal with compared to if I sent a knight there. That's just part of the chain. No catapult assistance needed. But yeah, the bombers do their thing. Lots of catapults. This is very hard to break through. And especially if I don't actually break through, then eventually I will lose to just being down in cities, which could pose as an issue. So I do need to make sure I don't lose. I'm pretty sure Anva does have 6. Yeah. Definitely, you can confirm now. Definitely 6 on 5. I'm surprised I didn't realize that in the game. It doesn't feel like a 6 on 5, though. Like, I'm the one calling all the shots, making all the moves, getting all the good trades. I get another mindbender here, using spiritualism, more economy. Unfortunately, I'm going to lose some juggernauts, but I am trading better. I'm going to end up with more super units on the map, despite, again, fewer cities. Because I'm like maximizing everything. I'm like prepared for ultra late game. But then Anva blunders here, still under the time pressure this entire time. And I just instantly capitalize on it. This night chain is crushing, and I'm going to get every bit of value here by also killing that with a knight and just going on my merry way. This city is defenseless. Even if you get a giant push off, there's way too much subboarding. I can even send some bombers to help. The defense is completely crumbled. And I'm still pressuring just everywhere. I just demolish all this. You cannot defend this position anymore. And yeah, I used the 2 ocean temples there for the win. But again, this is a best of 3. So while that was a really good game, there's still, I still need to win one more. So I'll cut to the next match. All right, so this time I'm not hosting, but I have a coastal spawn, and I see there's a village here, most likely. So not going for the meditation opening this time. I'm going to be rushing out a port. I don't find my village though, but you will see, just slam down a port instantly. This looks kind of stupid. In some ways it is kind of stupid. It slows down my eco a considerable amount, which in retrospect isn't that good for me. I guess I still get hunting pre-cap, but I can't upgrade this anymore. Though I would have been 2 turns later to this, so it's kind of hard to tell, such as Polytopia. You never know for sure whether you're doing something really stupid or not, even after the fact. But I get a nice port connection here. My eco is a little on the slow side, but my expansion, despite the bad densities, my expansion's actually doing pretty well. I'm workshopping like crazy because it's Conti. You don't need to get explorers because scouts can get all the vision for you. And you don't have to explore your own landmass with explorers because they're not going to be on your landmass. There's sailing, I meet Anva, and I can rush nav. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Unfortunately, that is not a pleasant surprise. Turn 9, throwing a giant in just like that. And definitely more giants to come because of the math. But, you know, I get the navigation. It's essentially plus 8 stars. It costed me 16 stars to get. I get the return on investment immediately, and then this 3rd starfish helps me pay off. But then there's 2 juggernauts in the water. How do I deal with this? Am I just losing right off the bat? No, I got a pop ruin because I'm just better at the game. And I can use that to get a giant. I just get organization. That also leads into strategy potentially. So that's one reason to buy the tech rather than just placing 2 ports. And I have ramming, which I believe I got from a ruin. And that is getting so much value here. Unfortunately, now these juggernauts have a bit of support, and this was so annoying, because here's the thing is, I want to take both of these villages, but if I do that, I get sieged, and I only have 1 warrior to defend. I need to save one of these other warriors and slow down my expansion, all because of this one move, just sending a raft here. Super annoying. Now, I could hit the warrior with my rammer, but like, that kind of feels bad because this is a 7-star rammer and I'm essentially just sacrificing it just to still allow the siege, but I can unsiege it at least. Like, that's... I don't want to do that. So I just keep the warrior here. And then, yeah, I get ready for the next giant. Unfortunately, I wanted to get a Justeeni. I was thinking, oh, I just win the game if I get that, which I do. But the problem is, Anva is good at the game. And also, there's catapults. 2 catapults! Oh my goodness. Not what you want to see. There's the siege. And I do this. I felt really cool when I did this play. I send the giant here, play support so I don't poof my own giant, to get 2 splashes in 1 turn. So much value. Oh my goodness. I think it's just a good play, right? Like, come on. Like, not only does it look really cool, it's good for the content, and it's an objectively good play as far as I'm concerned. Unfortunately, I missed the lighthouse. It had 1 more movement. It could have moved here. Could have moved like here. But no, it moves up. And yeah, there's another giant, you know, as if things weren't bad enough. And if I can hold on here, it's a 6-on-6. Which, oh, it's even, except it's not even because I'm down quite a bit in economy. Just the visible economy, I'm not going to count it up right now. I counted it during the game. They have a lot more economy than me. So I need naval dominance or else I lose. And I also need to develop my own economy, that's also important. But I'm just going to workshop like crazy. This is like also really annoying. There's bridge spots here. Lots of bridge spots that Anva has. I can't really deal with that. Also, this catapult means I can't train anything here. Anva has a ruin. I'm going to be getting sieged soon. If a juggernaut ever goes to either of these cities, that's a problem. I am training riders, so then in the event that they land rafts like this, I am actually prepared for it. But then here's another giant. I'm managing to trade super efficiently. I only made 2 giants this game. They're both alive, whereas 2 giants were thrown at me and neither are alive. Problem is there's more giants. And while I am surviving, the problem is I can't actually attack. I would love to just attack here, but instead I have my naval dominance and I just have to sit there with it because I know that there's a bunch of catapults in the fog. Like at least 2, maybe 3. So I just get roads, get my Grand Bazaar, gets another giant. That's pretty cool and all. Maybe can get several other giants. I'm outnumbered in giants after killing 2 and losing 0. Like, and this giant might die. I send this to defend, just hoping I can not lose the game. I like it when I don't lose the game. I'm hanging on by a thread. Like, it's not over yet. I have Gate of Power. I can possibly do something here. Yeah, boom. Border growth, steal some land. If I get forestry, that's a giant. Siege here, another giant. I'm just alive though. I'm able to unsiege. Again, just barely. And again, I can get forestry. I can unsiege everything. I'm still not up in super units, by the way. I have 2 injured super units versus 2 full HP super units. After killing 3 super units, I'm pretty sure. And losing 0. I have been making the craziest trades of my life against a top player. And this is how I'm rewarded. By still being effectively down in super units. I also do this. I don't care about this super unit anymore. It's just gonna die. I just want to try to pressure. I get forestry, try to develop, and then, yeah, my rammers unfortunately die. Another giant! Another giant! I've made 2 giants this entire game, which, given that's not a lot for me, I should have focused on giants more, but oh my goodness! And then I decide to resign here, not only because of this giant. I can't attack here at all. That's a problem. And I have long-term weaknesses here, besides being down in eco, but also the more immediate issue, and why I resign right now instead of later when that advantage is proven, is this is actually a huge issue. Because yes, I can push this, but the issue is after this pushes, there's going to be a giant and 2 catapults. And if I'm not mistaken, 2 catapults plus some extra support unit plus a giant just allows a resiege. And then I can't unsiege and I lose the city and lose the game. I can't punish these catapults at all. And yeah, I just have to... That's not going to be good. It's like the first really negative trade in the game, and it's completely crippling because I've been fighting an uphill battle this whole time. So I resign here. But it's 1-1. I can still make a comeback, I guess. So I'll cut to the next match. Alright, so I'm hosting again, and I have a coastal spawn, just barely, thanks to the guaranteed fish. Would have been landlocked in a really sad landlocked spawn otherwise. I'm able to expand nice and fast. And I decide to go for the port immediately. The reason why is because, yes, I can buy Org to level up, and level up right away, but I can also use the port next turn to level up. So I'm getting on the water ultra fast. 2 ports right off the rip. If I get a lighthouse that also upgrades, like I'm focused on this naval expansion, prioritizing it. I'm the hosting player. I should be able to easily dominate the seas, and I'm gonna just explore. There's probably villages here. Sure enough, there are villages here, but look at how much I'm expanding. And then, what is this? Turn 7, which means they got the giant on turn 6, and place the Park of Fortune here. What? Turn 6? With Kickoo? And then they can start connecting ports to get another giant. And then this happens here. Do you know what that means? That means they didn't get the giant on turn 6. Because they need to spend an extra turn to get into the port. They got the giant at the latest on turn 5. And like that's normally really bad. You know, you don't need to tell, like, you don't need me to tell you that, you know. The 2 giants on turn 7, one of them on turn 5 is just, what? How do you even deal with that? But even worse is the fact that it completely counters my strategy of expanding fast, which leaves me really, really open to 2 giants. I have no counterplay for this. Just straight up, I'm screwed. Like, the one out here is just praying that Anva doesn't know how to play the game. Siege the city, please, with a giant, so then I can Houdini it. But if that doesn't happen, which it probably won't, then I lose. But I'm not going to resign yet because, you know, that could happen, hypothetically. I get a workshop because, again, I don't plan on losing the city. I can pop a giant pretty easily. It's just going to take a bit, which is the issue here. I get an Explorer just to get the lighthouse and just hopefully get more vision. I might lose the city anyway, so I don't really need a workshop. I'm a little behind in economy, and there's strategy already, which means, like, Anva's probably down in cities, but way, way up in economy. Which is especially problematic because if I start losing cities, I give Anva a ton of momentum, and then I lose really quickly. I get this lighthouse here. Unfortunately, unless I can get the city, and then get the Explorer to just perfectly, magically go all the way there. If that happens, I get Eye of God, but if it doesn't, then I don't get Eye of God. And yeah, where's my first giant? It's with forestry. I have to get forestry for my first giant. Unless this is a pop ruin. Navigation. That's okay. That's not useless. You know, I can use it. now forestry is affordable. But again, the issue is, yeah, remember I was hoping for a giant to siege here and I win the game. Yeah, giant sieging here, giant sieging here. I can't unsiege this one. This one I think is unsiegeable, just a little difficult. And actually it's not that difficult. You just buy organization and place a monument, which is exactly what I'm planning on doing. I held my Park of Fortune so I can place it here. Simple enough. And then this siege happens. And yeah, I can poof, right? The problem is I am being triple sieged. And I mean, we can do a little bit of math. You can sit around and wait while I do that. So I can upgrade this with the 2 force and an animal. I get 5 stars back, so it's essentially 3 stars there. So I need 3 stars. I need to buy org, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 10 stars. Plus, oh my goodness. 10 stars plus another 6 to actually harvest the fruit, then the monument. Then I need 8 more for the fish. And then I need 14 more on top of that. Do you know what that equals? It's a pretty big number. 20, 38, 41. Now I can save some stars here by chopping thrice. So it's really only 38, 37, 36, 35, 34. If I really want to be frugal, 33, 32, 31. Okay, do I have 31 stars? Fun fact, no I don't. If I somehow did, I would still be losing anyway. You can see, I actually decided to do something different because yes, 14 stars is clearly too expensive as you can see here. I have 3 stars left, and after chopping all of these forests, I get less than 11. There are definitely less than 11 forests here. You don't need me to tell you that. So I border growth with the intention of gambling. If there is a 4th fish, then it only costs, I think it's actually more expensive if there's 4 fish. It's if there's 5 fish exactly. Then I can barely, and I mean barely, like I have exactly enough force to pop the giant. So I gamble with the border growth. It doesn't pan out, and so I resign. Unfortunately, I lose the set, but at least I got some good Mind Bender content, so I can't be too mad. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.